Okay, there's a lot of unanswered questions like there is for any investigation, but I can tell the public what they need to know. Basically, it's a Saturday afternoon in the short east of town. Just over my shoulder, there's a church. There's a festival going on where I just happen to look over and there's little kids and families. You have officers out today patrolling, doing their job, suiting up and keeping this community safe. So basically there's a traffic stop. I do not know the details of that traffic stop, but I can tell you that police officers need probable cause to pull a vehicle over, so I'm sure they did. Once they confronted that vehicle and did what they usually do, go ascertain their IDs, driver's license, the normal. At some point, the officers at scene felt that they needed and they were justified in using deadly force, where at least one officer discharged their firearm. So the officers have my full support. The community should have the full support as well, because they're not going to come out here and just pull someone over and do something and use force unless it's absolutely needed. So that's what we do. We do things so that others may live. It's my understanding that at least one person at the scene was shot. They were transported to the hospital. I had the same as you, that they were in critical condition. Now they've been upgraded to stable. I can tell you the most important thing, no one in the community was injured. That party right now, because of the action of these officers, within 100 feet is still going on. People are still enjoying their day, and they are still enjoying time with their families at this community event at church because of the peacemakers took action on their behalf. And that's what we do. And my officers are safe, and they are okay.
So, just so you just make sure all what we do know is clear. One officer, traffic stop, occupants in the car. Did some people fire at the officer, or did the officer? Is that?
I do not know if the officer was fired upon.
Okay.
But I can tell you this: there were several guns recovered at scene, and an officer does not need to be fired upon to necessarily use any type of force before that happens.
We know that relationship between the community and the police are always tense right now, and in this situation where, again, you said there's a community event going on, people are still walking by. But does this speak to the relations here, between the community and police?
Honestly, I'll answer your question. I don't mean to sound smart, but I think that's a narrative by the mayor and city council and politicians who lobby and they spread the divide. We just had 3 officers cleared of misdemeanor charges in a false narrative from the riots. I believe that it's a falsehood because I see many people, regardless of race, color, and creed, right now on this very block coming together. No one yelled at me. No one yelled at the officers. There's no problems going on. I believe that that's a false narrative. I believe the people here wanted us here, and I believe if you go over and ask those people right now, hundreds of them gathered at that church, that they're thanking God that the police were here today, and they wish we had 20 times more of the presence in here. You shouldn't have to get a police presence by your zip code, and the citizens of the Short East, Linden areas, regardless of your zip code, regardless if you have money or not, deserve a police presence. And thank God for these 2 officers here today that gave it to them and kept everybody safe.
How does it make you feel that an incident that could be turned into something more happened right here, all these kids and families?
I'm glad the officers didn't hesitate and did their job, to be honest with you. We'll have a BCI's taking this investigation, as you've been told. We'll have a clear and transparent investigation. And I have no doubt to think that the officers did anything than what they were trained to do. But in fairness to everything, the process, the citizens, the transparency, we'll have that. And we'll see where that investigation goes. But telling you in good faith what I know at this time, the officers did something here that kept everyone safe.
Thank you so
Any
much.
other questions?
We're good.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
No problem.